Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us on today. As above, so below. This is your first time in my live. My name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I'm the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. The ATRs are the African traditional religions by which we harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. To each and every one of you guys, thank you for being a part of our platform. Our platform is definitely for melanated people, melanated people that are practicing the ATRs or the black arts. I'm a pastor, and this is also for those that are in the church that are practicing the ATRs, and they also from the people that have left the church for probably good reason, but still practice the ATRs, but have church influence. To each and every one of you guys. What's up, my Demetrius in the house, Gemini, Mother Susan back to back, Gemini. Thank you to each and every one of you guys that for your continual support. I realize it's Friday, as above, so below. We're talking about Venus energy, not only the planet of love, but also the planet of war, the planet of prosperity and success and richness, wisdom, magneticism. What's up, my baby Scorpio? Um, I want to say first of all, salutation to my madrino, to my padrino, to my oba, to my brothers and sisters in E5 Voodoo Santeria. What's up, my Karen O'Brien? My Gemini. And all of my brothers and sisters in the ATRs. Also to all of my air signs, water signs, fire signs, and earth signs. One of the things I want to do on today, and it's something that as a Sagittarius, my moon is in Aries and my rising sign Pisces. And one of the things that I do continuously is to be as transparent as I can. Many of you, whether you know it or not, I'm initiated in various of traditions. And so one of the things that we cannot do is to discuss the mysteries behind these traditions, but we can teach about universal laws, and we can teach people that desire. Now, I want to say this, kudos to Demetrius. He affirmed that the memberships that I was offering was very good, and it's the proper way to actually get into the ATRs without being initiated, unless you know that's something you want to do and that you're going to be committed into doing such. What's up there, my crab cakes in the house, Monique 444. Now, I was working yesterday. I was because I'm crowned, and I also received Saint Lazarus. So any ceremony um, that that goes on with Santeros or Santeras, you can be a part of those ceremonies if you're crowned and you have that particular Orisha, because you can't give something you ain't got. Same concept that I teach people when it comes down to magic. You can't give an energy or frequency or vibration you do not have. Now, I want to say this before I get into this particular live. Do not get offended by what I'm about to say. Um, I come from an honest place. I come from a place concerned for melanated people and people that are practicing the HRs, especially Black Americans, and especially those that claim that everybody is trying to rip them off, scam them. I want to deal with this psychosis. This is a platform for real life issues. No matter where you are, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, or whether you're on the sideline looking, outside looking in. I want to give information that is rational and necessary if a person, a grown man or woman, decides to go left, right, or stand still. There's always consequences for action, and there are also consequences for non-action. The Bible calls it sin of omission. Now, let me explain what I'm going to tell you. And Mother Susan can verify this. I had already agreed to Padrino that I was going to come down here and work the Santos. But I had already told her because he already mentioned about me coming back for the ETA. Well, first of all, guys, I do not live around the corner to my from my Padrino. I live 3 hours away, so I have to drive here and I pay my own expenses. Many of you guys donate in various endeavors, but uh, I foot the cost when I come over here in Tampa. And so, especially now, I don't mind footing the cost for me, but I really didn't see the rationale of me footing the cost for my stay here for somebody else. That's what I thought. And then, but I knew I needed to learn whether I did crown anybody or not. I still needed to know because I'm a leader and so forth. You can't speak on what you don't know. Y'all know I'm big on practicing what I preach. So I can't discuss something that I ain't doing. And so this is my first time actually working a Santos. I had already told Mother Susan that I was not going to come back here on the 23rd because I got other stuff to do. I got my own people. I had every reason and logical reasons why I would not stay over and be here on a Saturday, and they not paying me. Number one, I am my mother's child. Um, so I started working the Santos, and Saint Lazarus to receive Saint Lazarus is a long ceremony. I didn't get done. We didn't get done around 3 a.m., close to 4 a.m. this morning. And only time I'm up that late, I'm out either tricking, um, or talking to the Lord. Sometimes a little bit of both. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was I was working the Santos. I was working the herbs. Now, what I'm about to say is this: I got shamed throughout the process. And the reason I got shamed because I found out the person that was receiving Saint Lazarus was at my tambora. And I had told Mother Susan, they don't do nothing for me, blah, blah, blah. That's where I was on that kind of clock. What's up, Trevon Aries? And I got there, and then this is why you can't say everybody and all people, because this particular person and his wife was at my Santos when I received my Saint Lazarus. And if you are not going to spend time learning your herbs, a part of Santos reminds me so much of Haitian voodoo and real hoodoo conjure. Obia, because you got to know your plants. And there's too many people that are trying to get into the ATR that don't have a knowledge of herbs, plants, and trees, um, the locations. How are you going to practice real magic, conjure mysticism if you don't know your herbs? Now, I utilize certain herbs differently based off of tradition or based off of a need of a person or a client. But my point is that a lot of you guys don't see the real work. I was on the receiving end of my orishas. This is the first time I've been on the giving end. I know that we feel like when we give our monies, give our time, that we done did a lot. But now that I've been on the giving end of giving in Orisha and all the work, when I tell you there are people that are so dedicated to this religion that are up in age. When I've seen older men, I seen older women, I seen middle age, I was the youngest Santos crown in the room, and so therefore I had to do certain things um, for Padrino, I had to offer him certain things. I had to offer Oba certain things because I was the youngest one. And tradition goes by your age, and that's African universal. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I'm saying this because a lot of y'all are not into this to work. It's called spiritual work for a reason. And even how I'm built, that's a long ass ceremony. And the amount of animals that had to be sacrificed. Now, I'm going to be transparent. When I went through this same ceremony, because you have to keep your eyes closed, you can't see certain things. And I had to crawl on my hands and knees. I literally, even though I did it, I thought those people were punking me. I was saying to myself, I hope these people, I was saying something else. I hope these people ain't got me doing stuff that I shouldn't be doing. But I'm gonna go through it because I know I got to get what I got to get. I was embarrassed because when I saw him having to get on, and he was a larger man than I was. A lot of times you think when you get into these practices that you're the only one going through something. You're the only one have to deal with certain things. And the fact that even though I was obedient, I still had those thoughts. And I wanted to share that with people that follow me. You're gonna have certain thoughts, but be obedient. You're not gonna understand. And that was the first time. A lot of these are my first time because I did not grow up in Santeria, Lukumi, and Ocha. I was rounded. St. Lazarus, Shango, Santa Barbara, all of that. I grew up around the seven African powers and all of that. My spiritual dad talked about them. He worked with them, but not to the degree that I am now. Okay. And I like to be transparent when it comes down to magic and my personal response. Because if leaders are not being transparent, then people going through things or having certain mindset, they may not understand why they are where they are. But when you on the receiving end of something, and the reason I want to bring it up because I have felt so many times that I was working for people that did not understand what I was putting out. I was making sacrifices for people to bring things to pass, and they had no idea of all the things that I had to go through in order for that thing to come to pass or to materialize. What's up, my Ryan in the house? And I found myself yesterday being one of those same people because I understood what it took to give me the Orisha. I got a lot of Orishas, but I was never on the giving. I was always on the receiving side. A lot of time when you receiving spiritual services, you really can't comprehend what that spiritualist or that person is going through. It's like a man trying to tell a woman he understands how she feels birthing a child. It's impossible. It's impossible. If you are a person, it's like Mother Susan was talking. It's like when you're a child and you receiving Christmas, you look at Christmas a different type of way. But when you the parent and you're giving Christmas, you thinking about what you got to spend. Bills got Christmas ain't one day out of the year. Blah blah blah. It's no different when it comes to spirituality. And I found myself, and the spirits started talking to me and showing me and getting on me really about because I said I was going home. I would have been in Port St. Lucie today. He said they were telling me, see the sacrifice that people are making. Everybody that was working that room had different type of sacrifices that they were giving. in order for that ceremony to be. Everybody that is present, every egon, every ancestor that is moving, shielding, protecting, you're not on the receiving end. I mean, you're not on the giving end, you're on the receiving end. You're receiving their help. You're receiving their assistance. You're receiving their protection. You're receiving their blessing. But what it takes for you to create a blessing, what it takes for you to be protected, you have no clue until you're on the other end of that sword. When you're practicing magic, this is why my spirit dad said, don't give a lick if you can't take a lick. A lot of y'all like throwing at people, but you can't handle it when it come back to you. You should never throw a punch you can't take. I was when I was tired, and the amount of herbs that had to be utilized, people got to find, not only because a lot of us think because I paid my money. No, that person, in order for you to receive Saint Lazarus and everything that Nana and Nanu and Afresca, everything that come along, especially with my Padrino does that, everything that comes along with receiving Saint Lazarus, all the herbs, all the instruments, all the stones that has to be a part of that ceremony and washed and cleansed, and the prayers that have to be prayed, the songs that have to be chanted. If you ever, I think about a lot of times when I walk in church in my own sanctuary, and I look at the people, and I look at what all I've already done before they got there to create that energetic atmosphere, and they're not in tune with it. And a lot of times they think, he being mean, or he being, no. If you ever create a manifestation, a vortex of energy, and people are not benefiting because they're too lazy to tap into the very energy that they did not have to work for, they still think it's about singing the songs. And all songs are, in every religion, every tradition, all songs are words with rhythm or vibration. They are enchantment. And depending on what you're trying to enchant, it's what type of songs that need to be sung. Whether it's to Orisha or to Yahweh or Emmanuel, Alofi, Ololamari, Mighty and Zombie, Grand Met, it don't matter. Divine Feminine, frequency and vibration, all of these are skills that you learn over time that make you viable, that make you accessible to the energy and the frequency of higher realms. And this is what I learned on yesterday, spending time in that room, getting those herbs together, those animals and the sacrifices, and watching him. I know he was tired because I done been through. Let me tell y'all something. I'm 52 years old. When I tell you I've been through a lot of ceremonies, I have received a lot of cauldrons and palo, voodoo. I have been through a lot of ceremonies. I have more respect for Ocha now. I didn't say I didn't have respect. I said I have more respect. Because once you become somebody on the giving end of these religions and not on the receiving end, you have a newfound respect. Yes, I was talking junk about that $3,300 that Padrino was getting. I don't feel that way now. A lot of times when you think about the cost, it's normally because you're on the receiving end. But when you're on the giving end of these practices, you thinking about that ain't no money. Not at what I'm exchanging. And I feel the same way. I can't believe I'm even not aware of it. But when people try to talk about my costs, and I know what I could be charging, I know what I could be getting, and I get offended and insulted. A lot of times y'all don't understand. Like, if you don't know what it takes to put a meal together from scratch, then you can't have a conversation with the cook. I'm going to say that again. If you have never created a meal from scratch, not warming up shit, not pre-cook this and pre-cook that. No, I'm talking about you creating a meal and a nutritious meal, not a overcooked meal, not a undercooked meal, a healthy meal that brings energy. You cannot talk to the cook if you really not out here doing spiritual work. If you ain't out here giving up your ache, your life force energy, your prosperity, your health, that's what you trade off in those ceremonies. We all gave him ache of our our Saint Lazarus. And we have different paths, but they all come from the same Orisha. And Saint Lazarus transcends Santeria because he's a Loa, he's an Egun, he's an Orisha. I mean, he's a powerful spirit. September 4th, this coming month, I'm going to receive the father of Saint Lazarus. Asa Inlay. Asa, I'm going to get the pronunciation right. But the father of Bablu. And I guarantee you, I'm going to enter into that ceremony with a whole lot of more respect. You can't know what you don't know. I don't care who he is. You can't respect something until you go through it yourself. That's why I tell a lot of you guys, once you get into the place, like Sister Monique, once she has to sacrifice herself for somebody else and they keep messing up, then, only then, is her eyes going to be open. This is what Apostle was talking about. Once Sister Tree gets on the altar of sacrifice for somebody else, then she'll. A lot of y'all don't have understanding because you ain't going through it. You on the receiving end. But when you on the giving end, you out there making things happen. Let me tell y'all something. When you out there making things happen, it's always the people that are waiting on you to bring the milk and the honey and the grapes. That's all you brought? They have the mindset of complaint. When you not out there in the hustle and the bustle of this thing called the spiritual streets, you can sit back and talk about, well, why I ain't healed yet, or why I ain't wealthy yet, or why I ain't this and why this ain't came yet. But when you out there making them sacrifice and going through the wars and running to the ocean and the river and the mountain and the crossroads and the woods and going over here by the swamp and burying this and hanging this in a tree for different people from this cemetery to that cemetery for you to get certain results. Average person don't even realize that some of the ceremonial work that I do for you is not even in my city. I travel to be in spaces and places that gonna give me the energy or give me the type of conjure naturally that I need in order to bring certain manifestation. I can get in a car accident on the way. I want to talk to y'all. Working the ceremony, especially depending on the Risha or the spirit, any form of initiation, you go through something, you deal with stuff, and you bring that experience to that ceremony. And every last one of us were on our knees, praying, chanting, giving of our ache to this man. The same way the same way they did for me, and the same way they did for Minister Mario, son of Achosi. When I tell you, being able to be in this space that I was yesterday, I have a greater gratitude of what those people gave up for us to have those Zarishas, for us to have those cauldrons, for us melanated people, for Apostle Ely to have available for you through membership. I don't believe even more that some of you that you are not ready for Haitian voodoo. You're not ready for a higher level of hoodoo. You're not ready for Obia. You're not ready for Ocha because you're not ready to work. You're not even ready to be a solid intercessor because that takes work. And I say this because my moon is in Aries. So I'm used to working. But depending on the type of traditions you are and the position you have, you may have to work harder than others. Padrino looks like the reason why I sympathize with my Padrino because he look a lot like me. I be so tired, but I can't stop. And he was like, "My son, I am so tired." I can relate. When you got God children and you got people around you that can relate to what you're going through and they have the compassion and say, you know what, Apostle, here goes some gas money. Apostle, here goes some money to eat. Or Apostle, get you something to address. Get you because these people have gone through certain things in their own personal life and they're able to relate. All I'm trying to do is give you some behind the scenes of what you are doing, dealing with Saint Lazarus. You're dealing with healing. He also deals with, because he's a king, he also deals with finances. He also deals with the ancestors. This, in order to work a spirit or a room, you got to have knowledge of that spirit or that Arisha or Loa and Kisia and Pungo. You can't come in that situation expecting to get the full benefits when you are not even educating yourself. You're not even trying to be open. I would have never got that message if I wasn't open. My mind was made up because I was intending to be back home today. But when I realized what we gave in that ceremony, I realized what people had given to me. This is what I look for, even from my children. And this is whether you're a man or a woman. When you get out in life, when you leave your mother and your father's house, whatever, grandmother's house, I don't care who, the point is, when you get out in real life and you realize it's not that simple to keep food in the refrigerator. When you understand it's not that simple to keep the lights on. It's not that simple to keep some places to stay. It's not that simple to have a transportation and keep gas in the car or the truck, whatever you got going on. When you get to the point that you can go back and say, my kids will tell me, Dad, we don't even have kids and it's hard out here. We can't even imagine what you're going through, and you had children. That's what I'm looking for. I look for that spiritually and naturally. When you get out here and you got clients and you got people you working for, you should have a new profound respect, not only for life, but for the people that trained you, taught you. Every time, every now and then I go through certain things, I start thinking about my spiritual dad and my mom and different people that have taught me. And I become so much more appreciative because it was what they imparted in me and they endowed in me, and the time they took out to have a conversation with me, whether I was listening or not. I don't expect everybody to hear what I say and get it the first time. You will understand the level of truthfulness that I am giving in my life when you start getting out here in the spiritual street and start living. When you start giving up your money, because I can take my money and go and do the things y'all be doing, but I'm giving it to the spirit. I take care of God's business before I take care of my own. And this is another thing I want to say, because I'm Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I had intention of being home. I keep trying to tell y'all, when you belong to the spirit, you don't do what you want to do. I'm going to say this again. I don't care how deep you get. I don't care how far you go. You do not belong to yourself. I know it sounds cool. Oh, I'm my own man, I'm my own woman. But when you house as many spirits as I do, you don't do what you want to do. Now, I could have got on that car and got in my car and headed home. But Ogun might have whooped my ass on the way, and I would have been in the film. The same spirit that will protect you will put the what's happening on your ass. I want y'all to know that. I'm initiated. This is for life. A lot of y'all ain't ready because you're not a person that follows instructions well. You're not a type of person that will, in spite of your lack of understanding or lack of clarity, will still be obedient. And in these traditions, it's going to cost you. Because you don't know what tomorrow holds. And did Saint Lazarus, my father, bless me for being there? Absolutely. So it's not it's not a waste. But it was experience I needed to know and to understand what people are doing in certain religions in order for you to have that gree bag and for you to have that conjure, that talisman, that egon stick, that candle prepared like that, or that oil that's consecrated on their altar, whatever they're doing, what the reading that they're giving, the ache, the counsel, the experience that they're taking out of their time to give you as much clear information as they can without telling the secrets. It hurts to see some of y'all spend y'all money on the very things that I could spend my money on. But you want me to spend my money on spiritual stuff, and you get a chance to spend your money on material stuff because you intend for me to be there for you. If that ain't some selfish shit, you literally think I am the spiritual depends that's supposed to collect your shit and keep you from being shamed. The, the reason I say this to Black American people, because some of y'all have so much deep unrealistic views of what people supposed to do and be in your life, and it keeps you from showing proper gratitude and appreciation. I was not the only person in that room giving Ache, giving Chi, giving Prana. Y'all act like I'm decrepit. I'm fine, good looking. I can be out here doing everything but what I'm doing. But I would not have been able to be there for you the way I'd be if I was out there doing what you're doing. I want somebody to blow on my nuts too. I want to be in a relationship just like anybody else. I want people to be there for me, just like but I'm always trying to be there for somebody. And somebody always asking more of me than they're willing to give. The things that people want me to do for them, they would never do it for me. This is a lonely journey. I don't know what y'all think you signing up for. I don't know what who lied to you or what imaginary idea or fantasy you got in your mind when it comes to spiritual work. It's energy exchange. It's energy exchange whether you feel good or you don't feel good. Whether your money funny or your money are right on time. Whether you're doing good in relationship or you're doing energy exchange is what it is. It doesn't matter whether you're healthy or whether you're sick. It's still energy exchange. And the fact that if you really are doing conjure, you're going to show more gratitude and appreciation for the conversations, before the information that somebody is giving you that is accurate, tried, proven, and consistent. Because when you get into real situations, whether warfare or your health or your well-being or whatever, you want people to give you the right direction. If you're not in the capacity of being an elder, take that title off. Y'all know I ain't big on telling people what to do. Stop seeking titles that you're not willing to do the work for. Stop trying to be somebody godmother. Stop trying to be somebody godfather, somebody pastor, somebody husband, somebody wife, somebody side piece. Cause y'all ain't even trying to be a good side piece. Like you're not in it for the work. Whatever that title is, whether it's grandmother, whether it's auntie, whether it's uncle, whether it's nephew, whether it's whatever, each aspect of your life is work. And that's what we were doing last night, working the ceremony, working the santo, the saint, bringing him in strong through various of means. When I go back to the church Sunday and I go before my Saint Lazarus, I'm going to approach Saint Lazarus with a greater regard and greater respect, because now, and when I say that, all of my spiritual tools, because you don't know until you know. And now that I know, I'm checking myself. The reason I'm showing y'all on social media, because I'm transparent enough that I want y'all to see that even your thinking can hinder you. Even the way you think that somebody always trying to, you don't understand what giving is. That's why the Bible says it's more better to give than receive. And now I'm understanding that, because when you are always receiving, you don't understand what it takes to give. Let me tell y'all something. Let me break this down like this. To be a giver, you have to have enough for you and to give away. This is why God is depicted, the divine is depicted as inexhaustible, omnipotent, omniscient, always at all times potent and powerful, knowledgeable, insightful. You cannot drain God. You cannot drain the nexus, the vortex, the void. You can't drain dark matter. You can drain us. But when people are giving up their ache, and like the Bible said, Peter, you can't convert your brother until you be converted. A lot of you guys don't know how to give, and you're really sacrificing, because if you're giving what you don't have to give, that's a sacrifice, and therefore you're sacrificing yourself at the extent of somebody else. But a giver is somebody that has uh, what they have, and they have enough, or El Shaddai, more than enough to give to other people. I can afford to give this type of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding because I still have a plethora of information. But to waste what somebody is giving you because they have it in abundance is not wise. Let me explain to you like this. The reason why you're not growing, and I'm gonna tell you, anybody that been following me for a while, you think you don't receive so much that you can stop listening. I'm gonna say that again. You think you have heard or received so much till now you're unable to listen. And you think that I'm being repetitive. You don't realize that you're the one that's stuck. Because if you were moving forward, I could give new information. If you had advanced, I would be talking about other things. You're the one that's stuck. And I have to reteach the curriculum because you the one was retained. You stayed back and you keep staying back. And I have to teach the class. Not because I don't desire to move forward, because I'm evolving, but because of your inability to advance and pass your test, I have to continue to teach the same class over and over. That's like when you go to a concert. That Do you have any idea how many times that Gladys Knight sings that song? How many times Aretha Franklin sings that song? They can never sing that song to their audience as though they're tired of singing that song. Because people did not come to see you tired of singing a song. They came to see you entertain them with the song that they fell in love with. That means you have to understand what the job is to perform. And you ain't ready to perform. You just want somebody to give you credit because you got a pussy or because you got dick and nuts. You got to work that. I think that anybody that's following me now gonna meet a new Apostle Ely. I've been working on my body, detoxing my lungs, detoxing my heart, detoxing my brain, cleansing my body from parasites, um, in order to be in a better place to harness the Ache. You can't gain more power, more knowledge, and not make room or space. You cannot gain more power, more knowledge without making space, making room, putting yourself in the best position possible. And guess what? It costs. It costs to get the house. It costs to keep it. It costs to do anything That's why they call it currency. And until you grow up and find yourself on the giving end of things, then a whole lot of things that I'm talking about now gonna make so much sense. I'm gonna leave you with the advice my supervisor gave me. We were having a conversation about children, and he said he went in there and he talked to his son, and he told his son this. And I'm gonna tell you this. I'm talking to every spiritual or potential spiritualist. He told his son these words. He said, "I'm the dumbest, stupidest, ignorantest person you will ever meet until you get your own." What I'm saying to you, when you get to the place you become a spiritualist and you got to start giving and you got to start making them sacrifices, that's when you're going to see how smart I am. Right now, it means, oh, that makes sense. Duh. Making sense of something and living it is two different things. I'm going to say that again. Making sense of something and living what makes sense is a two different versions of reality. Responsible people do not spend money like irresponsible people do. Responsible people do not give their time to things that irresponsible people give their time to. I can't afford to not be where I am right now because of the people that are dependent on me. I could not afford. You think I can afford to be in this hotel another day? What I can't afford is to be home, not where I need to be, getting what I need to get for the people that I claim that I'm responsible for. Because me being here is going to help more people than me being there. And that's the trade-off that every spiritually have to make. Every real parent got to make. Any real businessman or businesswoman got to make. It's called hard decisions. It's called discipline. It's called sacrifice. Attracting the energy. I say I want to be strong in this. Babalu Aye says stay here. Vast in my energy. I was an opportunity to be around other people with the same energy, frequency, and vibration. And our energy started multiplying the energy of Babalu Aye. You can't pay for that. You don't know what that does to the cells in your body when you're around other powerful people. That's why the scripture said one can chase 1,000, two can chase 10,000. The multiplication of the energy, frequency, and vibration when you're around like-minded people that want something out of spiritual life, miracles, signs, and wonders happen. And I was thinking about while I was doing the Santos, I was thinking about Kanisha. And I'm driven. I'm driven because she's driven. If you want to see my motivation and my adrenaline rush, be about your father's and mother's business. Really try to grow. Really try to want something out of your life. I'm gonna be in your corner. I'm not only gonna be hyping you up, I'm gonna be giving you the necessary skills and tools you need to win. Cause I hate to lose. And when I see somebody really wanting better out of their life and making the decisions, and you gotta learn something, y'all doing better, but you ain't doing you right. You are in a season you cannot afford to spend your time, energy, and money in the wrong place. This is not the season. This is not the time to be out there buying sodas and buying this. You supposed to be getting your body right. This ain't the season for you to be out here spending money foolishly. And it's foolish because You could be spending that money on some incense, some candles, or some cleanser, or a crystal, or some of your tools. Because you don't know what tomorrow gonna hold. And it's better to be prepared than not to be prepared. I honestly believe life is what you make it. I don't care if you're in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo. Life is truly what you make it. And if you give yourself the space and the opportunity, you would probably be, sir, ma'am, surprised of what you can actually get accomplished. A lot of people may think, oh, he moving too fast. I'm not moving fast. I'm right on time for who am I, what I supposed to be. Because when you listen at other people tell time for you, hear me some wisdom when I'm forgetting. When you're listening at other people tell you their time, just like in the natural, we all in different time zones. Depending on where you are in destiny, your 80 miles an hour might get you right where you need to be right on time. In somebody else's life, you might be speeding, but you know why you speeding, because you got a deadline to meet. I don't know what tomorrow holds and why these things are opening up for me. I need to stay in that flow. If I'm going to teach you how to stay consistent in your vibration, frequency, and vibration, I got to do the same thing. This is happening for a reason. And Padrino and Oba keeps telling me, this is so, this, a lot of people don't even get this opportunity. A lot of people don't even have these Orisha. But it's happening for Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. So why would I slow that down? Why would I hamper that? Why would I disrupt that? No. While the getting is getting good, I need to stay in the good. All I'm trying to tell melanated people, it looks like you're doing something innocent. But anything that is taken away from you from doing what you could be doing for yourself and for your elevation. Because you're going to have time. I promise you, sir and ma'am. You're going to have time to enjoy the fruit of your labor. That's one of the promises that are in the Bible. To enjoy the fruit of your labor. So whatever sacrifice that I'm making right now, I'm going to, any ass I'm missing, I'm going to get some. Any entertainment I'm missing, I'm going to get my share. God would not forget your labor of love. So if you laboring in love for your practice, your tradition, your ancestor, there you're going to reap the same love. Stop thinking you're missing out on something. Let me tell y'all something. I find out a new meaning of life. And I can be spending time with my family. I can be spending time with my mom. I could be spending time with anybody. But I'm over here spending time with the spirits. And that's why when I ask God for something, I always have the spiritual credit to move the spirits. Because I'm always making sacrifices. And I'm making sacrifices that my other loved ones are not making. And that's why when they come to me in trouble, I'm able to resolve their issues quickly, fastly, and impactfully. I hope that some of you really understand about working St. Lazarus and working the energy of healing and understanding him in his whole context and his family, his mother Nana, Baruko, and his sister Nanu, and all that comes along with that ceremony, you are very blessed to be around somebody that is highly and divinely and extraterrestrial empowered by the divine. It's not everywhere. Don't squander your time with me. Stop taking it for granted that I'm going to be here forever. And people don't have to die. People can move on. Why you got me here to give you these gems, do not throw them away. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding does not have an expiration date. It's revelatory knowledge, wisdom, understanding means it has a time release. When the timing is right, the wisdom will be revealed. When the timing is right, the knowledge will appear. When the timing is right, the understanding will be made clear. It got a time release on it. Don't throw it away. Don't say, oh, this was a good message, because this is more than a message. Don't say that, oh, that really helped me out today. No, it can help you out for the rest of your life. This is the gift that keep on giving. Every lie keep on giving. If you go back to some of my older lie and hear them again, you're going to get something else. Because I have a gift that keep on giving. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the like button. If you want to support Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, go to my website and donate. If you ain't got your egg on stick, get your egg on stick. If you ain't got your intermediate class, get your intermediate class. If you ain't got your ass, if you got your ass on your shoulder, sanitize your shoulder and put your ass back where it belongs. All right? God bless.